Quick! Take out a piece of paper and a pen. I need you to write down some things. First one, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. You ready for the second one? Photophilic Mycete. And the third, deoxyribonucleic acid. Now I'm guessing you had no trouble with the first phrase, considering you're either a student here or you're considering studying at the U of S. Now chances are good that you probably know the third phrase as well, deoxyribonucleic acid. You might have come across it before in a high school science class or watching CSI on TV. What you'll find as a new post-secondary student is that often your instructors will ask you to write down a word like photophilic Mycete, and they'll expect you to know what that means as well as you know your hometown or the molecule that codes your genes by the time the final exam rolls around. Now, if you're worried about this new expectation, you're not alone. Learning new vocabulary is one of the most difficult things in post-secondary study, and it's one of the first and second year students' most common complaints, as there's a lot of highly specific language to learn. But by the time you hit third and fourth year, the words don't seem new anymore. In fact, by the time you hit third and fourth year, you'll have developed a system to learn new words. It's a lot less intimidating when you're introduced to this new vocabulary if you have a system to figure it out. The key is to understand how we build words and how we build that meaning from the component parts of words. Take the word Saskatchewan for an example. You're familiar with the word because you've heard it before. Maybe you've lived here. Either way, you have some kind of preconceived idea of what Saskatchewan is. But now imagine you've never heard the word before. It makes it a really complex word to pronounce, let alone spell. So how did the word come to be? Well, like many words in the Cree language, Saskatchewan is a compound word, which means a large word made up of smaller root words. When put together, they express a complex idea. Saskatchewan is actually an anglicized term for the Cree word Kisiskatchewani Sipi. Sipi is the Cree root word for river, and Kisiskatchewani is the Cree root word for swift flowing. Now, instead of a 19-letter word, we've now condensed it into 3 parts, which is a lot easier to remember than 19.
Most of the words in the disciplines of science are also compound or bundled words. The roots in scientific words come most often from Greek or Latin, and sometimes from place names or the family names of famous scientists. As you learn new terms in your courses, you will begin to find that many of the root words repeat and become very familiar. As you read and learn scientific terminology, you will soon develop the skill of inferring or parsing the meaning of complex words by looking at the roots they are constructed from. With practice, you will be able to guess at the meaning of compound words you've never seen before. Let's look at an example. A list of compound words that share a root: photograph, photosynthesis, photon, photophilic. What is the root that all these words share? It is photo, which is a Greek word meaning light. So right away, once you know the meaning of this root, you know that all the words in this list have something to do with light. Let's take a look at the root words photo has been bundled with. Graph, to write. Synthesis, to put together. On, a small part. Philic, loving. Knowing these root words, let's see if we can figure out what the compound words mean, even if you may have known some of them before. 1. Photograph, to write with light, referring to the visual image captured on film when exposed to light during photography. 2. Photosynthesis, to put pieces together with light, putting carbon and hydrogen atoms together to create sugars inside of plant cells. 3. Photon, an elementary particle that describes all electromagnetic radiation, including light, the smallest descriptable unit of radiation. 4. Photophilic, light-loving. Many algae that photosynthesize will be described as photophilic because they will move toward light. All of the disciplines of science have their own terminology, technical details, and compound naming systems. The main reason students complain about learning new words in science is because they're hard to read, write, and spell, at least at first. By learning to break scientific words down, to parse the roots, you will find scientific vocabulary much easier not only to read and understand, but also to pronounce and remember. Photophilic Mycete? Well, now you can guess that whatever it is light-loving. But what is a myxomycete? Myxo, an Old English word meaning slimy. Mycete, a Greek word for fungus. Myxomycete is a Latin compound word meaning slime fungus.
So what are photophilic Mycete? They are light-loving slime fungi. In fact, they're some of the most important fungi in the Saskatchewan forests. You're going to learn a lot about these in your biology courses. For more information, check out the link below.